Jack woke up to see a pair of glowing eyes like a cat's staring at him in the dark. The pretty woman he took to the hotel had turned into a wild creature with a cat's face and jumped at him. Welcome to Royal Beat Tales. If you are just seeing us for the first time, please subscribe, like, and comment for more unique stories. Jack was a tall, handsome 32-year-old man living in Asaba, a town in Delta State, Nigeria. He was successful at his job and friendly with everyone, but Jack had a bad habit. He loved to chase women, even though he was married. His friends knew him as someone who could not stay with only one woman. Jack was married to a kind woman named Rose, and they had a 5-year-old son. But Jack kept his marriage a secret from the young ladies he met. Rose was very tired of fighting with Jack about his behavior with other women. She was hurt and sad, and she finally stopped arguing with him so she could have some peace. Jack did not know that his next adventure would bring him face to face with something very dangerous. One bright afternoon, Jack saw a beautiful young lady walking down the street. She was about 22 years old, with fair skin and a charming smile. Jack's eyes lit up when he saw her. He walked up to her with his usual smooth style. "Hello, pretty lady. Your beauty pulled me from far away like a magnet," Jack said sweetly. "You must be an angel sent from heaven. My name is Jack. What is your name?" The young woman smiled and replied, "My name is Erica." "What a lovely name, Erica," Jack said, grinning. "You look like you are on a special mission here on Earth, and I want to help you on that mission." She giggled and said, "If you say so." Jack was very happy. They talked and got to know each other, and he found Erica funny and charming. But Jack had no idea that Erica was not a normal girl at all. She was actually a spirit in disguise, a goddess who came to hunt and destroy men. Jack had caught her attention, and she was glad to start her wicked plan with him. And that was when it all began. That very day, Jack decided to take Erica out on a date. He brought her to some nice spots around town. They ate good food, drank, and danced happily at the club. Jack felt proud to be with such a beautiful lady. He did not think about his wife or son even once that night. All he cared about was having fun with Erica. Late that night, Jack drove Erica to a cozy hotel. They were laughing as they walked into the room. Jack was delighted by Erica's beauty and charm. Without a second thought about his family, he spent the night with Erica in the hotel. He fell asleep with Erica by his side, not knowing what the next hour might bring. In the early hours of the next morning, while it was still dark, Jack suddenly woke up. His heart was pounding fast, though he did not know why. The room was quiet and the lights were off. Jack blinked in the darkness and looked around. Then he saw something that made him freeze in fear. In a corner of the room stood Erica, but she did not look the same. Her eyes were glowing bright green, shining in the dark like a cat's eyes. Jack could see her face in the weak light from the window, and it looked like the face of a big cat. Erica's pretty face had changed into something wild and scary. Jack was frozen with fear as she stared at him with those sharp, glowing eyes. Suddenly, Erica made a low hissing sound like an angry cat. She jumped at Jack with great force. Jack screamed in terror. He threw his arms up and pushed her away with all his strength. Then he jumped out of the bed and ran out of the hotel room as fast as he could, wearing only his shorts. He was so scared that he left his shirt and shoes behind. Jack ran down the hallway of the hotel, yelling for help. The hotel staff who heard the noise came running to him. Jack was shaking and pointing toward his room, trying to explain that a monster was inside. A few staff members gathered their courage and went into Jack's room to see what was going on. They looked everywhere, but there was no one there. The room was empty and silent. Everything looked normal. The only things there were Jack's scattered clothes and the messy bed. One lady at the front desk gave Jack a confused look. "Sir," she said gently, "The lady who was with you left early this morning." Jack's mouth dropped open in shock. How could that be true? He knew he had seen Erica standing there with a cat face. He knew she had attacked him. Jack stood there trembling and confused, not sure if he was awake or trapped in a bad dream. He felt a chill go through his whole body. He did not understand how Erica could just vanish. Jack had seen something impossible, and it scared him more than anything in his life. Later that day, Jack sat at a small bar in town, holding his head in his hands. He tried to make sense of what had happened in the hotel that morning. His mind was filled with questions. Was Erica some kind of witch or ghost, or was it all just a bad dream? Jack sipped his drink nervously. It felt so real when Erica's face changed and she jumped at him. His body still shook when he thought about it. Jack felt guilty and frightened. He knew he had done wrong by cheating on his wife, and now something very strange was happening to him. He wondered if he was cursed or if he was simply losing his mind. As he sat there, a few people watched him talking quietly to himself. Jack felt completely alone. He had no one to talk to because no one would ever believe him. He took a deep breath and told himself that maybe it was just a one-time scare. Maybe Erica was gone forever. But little did Jack know that this was just the beginning of his nightmare. After that day, Jack's life became very frightening. Erica began to visit Jack everywhere he went, but she made sure only Jack could see her. At work, Jack would suddenly feel a soft hand stroke the back of his neck. He would turn around and see Erica standing there, smiling with those glowing green cat eyes. "Miss me?" she would whisper to him. Jack would jump up in fear and shout. No one else saw Erica, so it looked like Jack was yelling at nothing. His co-workers were shocked and thought he was going crazy. At church, he sat quietly and closed his eyes to pray, hoping to feel safe. But suddenly he felt someone sit on his lap. He opened his eyes and saw Erica sitting right on him. She wrapped her arms around him and leaned very close to his face. Jack yelped and jumped to his feet, trying to push her away. Everyone in church saw Jack suddenly yelling and flailing his arms in the middle of the quiet service. They could not see Erica at all, so to them, Jack just looked crazy. Jack's friends noticed his odd behavior too. One evening, he was sitting with them at a restaurant, but he kept looking around nervously while everyone else was relaxed. Suddenly, he felt an invisible hand touch his cheek. It was Erica again, running her fingers through his hair, but no one else could see her. "Go away, leave me alone," Jack cried out. His friends stared at him, baffled. "Who are you talking to?" one friend asked in surprise. Jack's face turned pale and sweaty. He could not explain that a ghost was tormenting him. No matter where Jack went, Erica haunted him and made him act strange. Nobody else could see her. People in town whispered that something was wrong with Jack and that he was losing his mind. Jack could barely sleep at night because he feared Erica would come back. He lived in constant fear with no escape. He was trapped in a nightmare that never seemed to end, and the worst was still to come. One night, Jack was in his bedroom trying to rest while his wife Rose was in the next room. Rose had started sleeping separately because Jack often screamed at night and scared their little son. That night, as Jack lay in bed, trembling and hoping for morning to come, Erica appeared again. This time she was completely solid, like a real person. Suddenly, Erica was right there on Jack's bed, whispering in his ear and running her fingers across his face. Jack screamed in terror, a loud cry that echoed through the house. Rose heard the scream and thought Jack was having a terrible nightmare or that something was very wrong. She grabbed a flashlight and ran into the bedroom. When Rose burst into the room, she froze in shock. In the beam of her light, she saw Jack on the bed, and next to him sat a strange young woman with fair skin and a flowing white dress. It was Erica. To Rose, it looked like her husband had brought another woman into their home and into their bed. Rose could not believe her eyes. Her hands began to shake and her heart felt like it was breaking. She was both scared and furious. Who was this mysterious woman? How did she get into their bedroom? Erica turned her head and stared at Rose with those shining green eyes. Rose felt a chill and knew that this woman was not human. Rose let out a frightened cry and backed away, then rushed to grab their son from his room. Jack was still on the bed, yelling in terror and covering his face, unable to handle the horror. Rose did not wait another second. She picked up her child and ran out of the house without looking back. That night, Rose took her son to her sister's house to stay safe. Jack stumbled out after them, shouting, "Rose, wait!" But Rose was already gone into the dark night. Now Jack had lost his family because of Erica's terror. He wanted to explain or apologize, but it was too late. Rose was gone, and she would not come back. Jack was left alone in the house with only the evil Erica for company. Over the next few days, Jack's life became even worse. With his wife and son gone, Jack became very sad and hopeless. He barely went to work anymore. He would wander around the streets of Asaba with messy hair and bare feet, talking to himself. People in the neighborhood saw him laughing one minute and crying the next. Other times he would shout at the empty air, yelling, "Leave me alone! Please leave me alone!" Everyone realized that Jack was no longer the cheerful, successful man they used to know. He looked very sad and lost. Some people felt sorry for him, while others were afraid of him. Word spread around town that Jack had gone mad, but Jack was not truly alone in his mind. He could still see Erica following him everywhere and frightening him. At any moment he might feel her cold breath on his neck or hear her whispering in his ear. Jack could not escape Erica no matter how far he walked. Day after day, Jack's condition got worse. It seemed Erica would not stop until she destroyed him completely. Jack was getting weaker and more tired. He barely ate or drank anything now. He had lost everything, his family, his job, and even his mind. Something terrible was about to happen, and deep down Jack might have known it too. One cloudy day, people were opening their shops at the busy Ogbogonogo market by the river. They saw Jack wandering near the bank of the wide river Niger behind the market. Jack was talking and laughing loudly as if someone was with him, but he was completely alone. He stepped closer to the edge of the river. The water of the great river rushed by, deep and strong. A few people nearby shouted at him to be careful and to come away from the water. But Jack didn't seem to hear them. He reached out his arms toward the air as if he was holding someone's hand that no one else could see. For a moment, Jack stood there with a strange smile on his face, looking at something invisible. Then, all of a sudden, Jack slipped and fell into the river with a huge splash. "Oh, no! Help him!" someone shouted. A few men ran to the riverbank and jumped in, trying to save Jack. They splashed and searched for him in the swirling water. They dived in and out, looking desperately, but Jack was nowhere to be found. The river was too dark and fast. After a long while, the men climbed out of the water, out of breath and sad. They could not find him. Jack had vanished beneath the waves. People whispered in fear and sorrow, wondering if something unseen had pulled him under the water. In the days that followed, people said that Jack fell into the river and drowned. His body was never found. That was the last time anyone ever saw Jack. People who knew Jack gossiped that his wife was a bad woman to have left him at that critical time. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe for more unique stories.